Yes, it is time to tackle the headline. It is time to talk about some of the defenders who could be on the move in this year's trade period. Ralphie, we're going to start with you. Nick Haynes, he's on big money for the Giants this year, but he could be wearing new colours next year.
That's right. I think we all expect to be at Carlton, so he's on a back-end deal this year of about $1 million. And we just have to say that his normal wage is about $500,000. He's done it selflessly. But you look at him at Carlton as that free agent. So if they brought in Dan Houston as that interceptor and rebounder, you get Nick Haynes, you get Wiedering, you get McGovern. I think it makes so much sense for a player you don't have to give up a pick for.
Sounds like great sense. Who's paying his wage?
Well, no, he was on $500,000 average this year. They can pay him whatever they want. He's earned good money across his contract. I think now he wants to play senior games and he wants to have some modicum of success. You can't do it playing VFL for GWS. So it's a smart move. Get him into the right spot and potentially a massive upside.
Do you think they could afford both, Houston and Haynes, or has it got to be one or the other?
No, I think they can get by. I think that Haynes absolutely will be there. And then Houston with some reconfiguration of the salary cap, with moving on some of the players that we've spoken about on midweek tackle, they can definitely afford them both.
What about his teammate Harry Perryman?
So, 6-year deal at Port Adelaide at about $850. I think the Hawthorn deal and the GWS deal are about $600. I think the Port Adelaide view is that, like, you guys get hung up on the 6th year or the $850.
I do.
But when they are free agents, it may well be that you've got, that, let's call it $600,000 or $800,000 there. That's okay, because the front ending of it, if they can win us a premiership, we're all right with that. You're not giving away a first-round draft pick. So that's their view. Right now, I would think that he wants to play midfield.
I was going to say, don't tell me he's been promised midfield. Yeah, it's the selling point.
It's the Taylor Adams sell.
He's not breaking into that midfield.
Well, he's not breaking into the Port Adelaide midfield. He's not breaking into the Hawthorn midfield. He's not in the GWS midfield. So, look, I think I think it's less of a financial situation for him. But when you're being offered 6 years at $850, you're probably passing out $1.5 million to stay. That's very tough.
Where does Isaac Cumming land?
So he's been offered 4 years at GWS. Another player who Port Adelaide are very interested in, a 4-year deal. Again, he kicks it well. He's very dependable. He's had a few injuries right now, and that's a concern for clubs like Gold Coast, who are kicking his tyres early on.
I'm hearing Crows. I'm hearing Adelaide.
Okay.
I think Adelaide could get Isaac Cumming, and that would cap a very busy trade period for them. Already looking at Jack Lukosius and Alex Neil-Bullen for Melbourne. They've said all year that they want to make big moves in this year's trade period. I don't think any of them are absolute superstars.
Mel Robinson's another one as a small forward.
Exactly. So I think Isaac Cumming is very much in the market at Adelaide at the moment. Adam Tomlinson is another one. Particularly, at Melbourne, he was really unable to establish himself.
He's in and out all the time, isn't he?
Throughout the year, and I'm not sure. We know his best footy is probably behind him. Where does he land? St Kilda is one club who's been mentioned for Adam Tomlinson. I also wonder with Collingwood, could he end up there? But potentially Melbourne, and who knows what's going to happen with Harrison Petty. I'm not sure he's in their best 22 next year.
So just I suppose the situation with Josh Battle, you told us last week that they're effectively blindsided. So is there a risk there for St Kilda to say we're just clutching at straws now? I think Jayden Laverty's a pretty good player.
You think Saints are scattergun?
No, my point, I'm asking you the question. I'm trying to put words in your mouth. No. So because they thought Josh Battle was their man, all of a sudden, hang on, well, there's not that many quality players out there. Is it too late for them to try and get a battle like for like him?
Yeah, difficult. So that's why Tomlinson and also Dan Houston, I know it's a different role. Thing is, Battle was two players in one because he could intercept and defend and he could use the ball so well. So that is really hard to make up.
The problem for the Saints is they've lost faith in Dougal Howard. So he's there. He came over from Port. Ross Lyon, not his best fan. So they have to find someone. And Laverty, as we know, he's got links there. He fits the bill, doesn't he? Similar size. He can play that role. So I would think Laverty and St Kilda is the match that we really are going to look for.
And if they can give him a multi-year deal, because that isn't on offer at Essendon, we know that it's clear. They don't want to pay overs or give more years to Jake Stringer or Jayden Laverty. So potentially a 3-year deal at St Kilda could get him over the line. Next up, Collingwood's situation is so interesting, isn't it? Because they had a crack at Mark Keane, who has stayed at Adelaide on a 3-year deal. So Mark Keane definitely staying in South Australia. I just worry for Justin Leppich because he'd be looking at that back six. That was a huge flaw which was exposed so consistently throughout the season in the Collingwood back half. So they need someone to try and straighten them up and help provide support for Darcy Moore. But internally, is there any miracles they can swing? Can Charlie Dean come up? Can Ryans or Ed Allen sort of play that sort of more key defending? Is there a wild card? Can Reef McInnes or Jeremy Howe? This is the thing.
A lot of no's.
Unless they go and get a Toby Pink like North Melbourne from the State League.
No, he's playing forward by round. He's in the VFL by round 6. He's playing full forward by round 8.
I wonder whether this is almost the number one objective for Justin Lepich and the Collingwood mismanagement crew.
So maybe you try and pick a contracted player from somewhere, but then you haven't got the first round pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Their Achilles heel is significant, and it doesn't look like they're going to erase that, or doesn't look like they're going to fill in that gap.
What about Alex Keith?
Yeah, well, he's out of contract, and as we know, out of the team. So Booker Karmas has
Bulldogs,
re-signed. Rory Lobb's become the greatest centre-half-back in football for 6 weeks. And we all think Aaron Norton should be tried there, and maybe they do over the summer finally go, let's give it a look. So I think Alex Keith will be available. Do you think anyone will take him?
Oh, I would be surprised.
They're like Ruckman, they're great survivors, these key backs, like Tim English, bounced
big
around
bodies.
clubs. He will find a rookie deal somewhere, or a summer rookie deal for sure.
Ryan Gardner, also the Bulldogs. Still right. That has been Tackle the Headline for another week. We will catch you next week. Bye for now.